This is a B-52 Stratofortress. That's not what we're going to be talking about today. I just like the buff. I wasn't really planning on making another one of these today, but one of my followers suggested this thing, and after doing a little bit of research, I have to. This is the Hiller X-18. And the more I looked into it, the weirder it got. So buckle up, this one's kind of a doozy. Actually, you know what? Hang on. Alright. Oh, crisp. It's an experimental cargo transport aircraft designed to be the first testbed for tiltwing and VSTOL technology, VSTOL standing for vertical or short takeoff and landing, and was designed and manufactured by Stanley Hiller Jr. and Hiller Aircraft. Design and manufacturing started in 1955, and it took its first flight on November 24th, 1959. Now, to keep costs low, it was constructed with scavenged parts, including a YC-122C fuselage and turboprops from a Lockheed XF-V1 and Convair XF-Y1 Pogo. Those are both experimental fighter programs planes. Now, the double tri-bladed contra-rotating props were 16 feet across, and the Westinghouse turbojet engine, yes, Westinghouse, the same guy that makes your heater. I mean, I guess it makes sense. They both get hot and blow, so I could definitely get behind that. But they had their exhaust diverted upwards and downwards at the tail to give the plane pitch control at low speeds. Sounds cool. Now, not too much is known about this plane, but we do know that there were at least 20 test flights, and within those 20 test flights, there were multitudes of failures. And it would be a near-fatal accident in July of 1961 that would bring those tests to a standstill. Eventually, a VTOL test stand would be constructed for this thing so that they could at least test the VTOL capability for the turboprop engines and those Westinghouse turbojets that I was talking about earlier. This is actually one of the very few photos that I could find of this thing. There's really not many, and I'll get to why in just a second. It's actually kind of a sad story. On January 18th, 1964, the entire program would be scrapped, but all of the information that they were able to gather would be used for future projects. I'm sure when you think VTOL, you think the Osprey, and you think the F-35 Bravo or the 8V-8B Harrier jet. That's where a lot of this testing came from. So we have the X-18 from Hiller to thank for all that. That's your brief history.